Throughout the many years of me wasting my life completing games, I've done some
pretty hard stuff.
I've done challenges that were hard, unfair, mind-numbing, soul-crushing, and I wanted to make a list of the top 10 hardest completions I've ever completed in my completion career. So starting off, number 10, we have Hackman Championship Edition 2. Now, this game is extremely simple at first. It's Pac-Man. But the thing that makes this game so hard to complete is a specific level in the adventure mode. I don't remember which level it was exactly. I think it was 6-4. Literally, just this one level bumps this game a couple difficulty tiers. The other challenges, you know, they're kind of tough, but they aren't like anywhere near adventure mode. Pac-Man Championship Edition, I'd say it took me like 30 hours, but yeah, that's number 10. All right, number 9 is a game I've actually showcased on my channel before. It is Dark Souls, the poster child of difficult video games. And it's not really hard, honestly. It's more grindy than hard. And even with the self-restrictions I put on myself without summoning anybody, it's fine. It's mostly comes down to just a lot of grinding for the rare weapons, which is very annoying. I've literally done this twice. I've completed this game twice. Dark Souls. My first time, it took me 70 hours. My second time took me 40. All right, at the number 8 spot, I am putting Celeste. Yeah, it is a hard game. Probably one of the most difficult platformers I've played. Apart from just the general difficulty of the game and the collectibles, there are alternate versions of levels. There is B-sides and C-sides, which are just harder versions of the levels, and they were challenging, but one of these C-sides, really hard for me in particular, it was the final C-side. I'm pretty sure it was called Core, where I just spent like, maybe 7 hours just attempting that level, and I just could not do it. I would reach the ending bit so many times and I would just die because they introduced a new mechanic that you had to do at the end of the level. It was so difficult, but I did pull through and I did it, so that's that. But yeah, very difficult but good game, very good game. I recommend it. This one took me about 30 hours as well. At the number 7 spot, I have Cuphead. Look at this. I started this game in 2017, so one of my older completions here, but I actually did not complete the game until, let's see, in 2020, because the hardest thing in this game is by far the expert mode, which is just harder versions of the bosses. I also did the DLC as well, which wasn't as hard as the main game, but still hard. But yes, that is Cuphead. It took me, let's see here, what is this? I don't know how many hours. Is that 50 hours? I don't know. Next up, we have Enter the Gungeon. This game is pretty fun, but the achievements that really gave me trouble were these 3 right here: Hedgeslinger, Weirdtail, and Day Ruined. I have to find a specific character, the Gunsling King, and beat his game 5 times. The guy would not spawn for me. I do not know how many hours and days I spent just resetting, trying to find this guy. It took me, as you can see, a lot of hours to finish just these 4. Like, look at the time gap. And the game is pretty hard. And at the number 5 spot, where we have reached the halfway point, Sekiro. Sekiro is another just really hard game. This game has the best combat in any game. Typical FromSoft things, completing bosses and secret bosses, which in itself is simple, but it's like the bosses themselves are hard. This isn't Dark Souls or like Elden Ring where you can just summon someone to help you. You have to do this all on your own, and there are like prosthetics that help you, but this is like the most skillful game in the Soulsborne series, I'd say. Genichiro was like the pinnacle of this game, the learning curve in this game, and I feel like he took me the longest, but I feel like the actual hardest boss was, where is he at? Great Shinobi Owl. Wow, what a just incredible boss. A lot of people struggled with this boss. He didn't take as long as I thought it would. He was hard, but he wasn't as hard as I thought he would. Proceed with caution, but we haven't reached into the bullshit territory. We're still in the realm of like actually completable. Okay, well, I'm gonna be honest, Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 was kind of bullshit, but it was just one level. At the number 4 spot, Doom 2 Classic. Oh my god, this game. So this game it's Doom, you know? But there is just one teeny weeny little tiny ass achievement. When I'm With You, where you have to beat every level on Nightmare in co-op for some reason. Oh my god, Nightmare difficulty is a nightmare. There are plenty of levels that took me hours to complete, but there is one level. If you know anything about this game, there's one level that is so, like, ridiculously ridiculous. Map 29. It is such a horrid level. You have to know this level like the back of your hand. And this level is so hard, you can't even complete it like just playing it. You have to beat a previous level to get the necessary equipment to actually attempt this level. It took me 109 attempts to beat Map 29 on Nightmare. It's just so difficult. The enemies constantly respawning, the hit scans everywhere. Alright, top 3. And at the number 3 spot is Red Dead Redemption 2. This game is the ultimate grind fest. It requires you to do so much. I don't know what to feel about this game because on one hand, it is like literally one of the best games ever created. But on the other hand, some achievements like Gold Rush, Zoologist are just so horrid. Zoologist and Skin Deep. Okay, let me go bit by bit. So this requires you to skin every species of animal, and Zoologist requires you to study every animal, which isn't true. There are some animals you can skip, but just sit around and wait for like a little tiny ass microscopic bird to fly by, and you gotta study it. You gotta skin it, and if you miss the skin, you gotta do it again. You gotta find the same animal again. And this process is so mind-numbing. It is so boring having to look for these animals. And there is one animal in particular that took me like 3 to 4 days of just doing nothing but waiting at a specific spot with bait. And I'm pretty sure it was the moose. The moose, I don't know why, but it just did not spawn for me. I went to so many different areas and I just could not get this moose to spawn. You know how like horrible it is to just do nothing but just hoping that you get lucky and an animal spawns? Horrible. This game is just such a grind. There's a reason I have 300 hours on it. 100% completion, it requires you to do just the most brain dead activities ever. There's one you have to collect like a bunch of feathers. There is no skill involved. You aren't doing anything of value. You're just running around, killing birds, getting feathers, and repeating. And I'm not done. There is still more grinding you have to do. Notorious. Reach rank 50 on online. I didn't even know there were online achievements. So I just had to like just grind out the collector like job or whatever. Again, just brain dead activities. Gold Rush, earned 70 gold medals. Oh my god. More grinding. Just more grind. There is a reason why this game took me 300 hours to complete. At the number 2 spot. Do you remember when I said that Red Dead Redemption was the ultimate grind? I lied. This is the ultimate grind. The Binding of Isaac Rebirth. Oh, but not just Rebirth. I have every DLC. And if you know what every DLC means, it means I have Repentance, which means I had to get Dead God. And the requirements to getting Dead God is literally just to do everything there is in the game. It's just unlock everything. And how long does it take to unlock everything? About 600 hours. The amount of just shit you have to do, I literally can't name like a lot of it. There is some characters that are just hard as balls to play, like the Lost, Tainted Lost. This game literally took me an entire year to complete. The number 1 hardest game I've ever accomplished is Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight is, yeah, this definitely, I literally don't think I've ever topped this in terms of difficulty. And this Pantheon of Hollowness is basically the hardest thing I've ever done in the game. And like, this is not the only hard thing. Like, you still have to 100% this game in Steel Soul mode, which is just 1 life, 100% the game in under 20 hours. There's a bunch of shit on top of this, which was like the hardest thing ever. And let me give you a little backstory of how it went down. I remember I was on the penultimate boss. I don't know what the terminology is, but it was Nightmare King Grim. And of course, like, you're at this point, it takes like, each run takes like 40 minutes. So of course my heart was racing. As I was playing, I was like, telling myself in my brain, like, okay, calm down. You're not gonna do it on this attempt. You're not gonna beat it on this attempt. To try to calm myself down, because like that feeling of like heartbeat is like horrible. It's so scary. So yeah, I beat Grim, and then I went on to Pure Vessel, which by the way is my favorite boss in the Hollow Knight, and he's awesome and I love him, so I beat him with no problem because I've beaten him so many times. And of course, if you know anything about Pantheon of Hollowness, you know about Absolute Radiance, which is literally a final boss of the game. But even harder for this one extremely difficult mode where you have to beat 48 bosses in a row, and it took me like months of just practicing. Like, look at the difference between when I got this one, which was in, what is this, October or whatever, 6th, to May 15th. Like, that's what, 5 months of just like grinding. But yeah, those are my top 10 hardest games I've completed, and like I'll do more completions as well, and just some regular gameplay, whatever garbage.